You also have far more power if you think of the game as poker, rather than any dice-based game in which chance comes into play. There is no chance involved here. We create it all. In poker, as in life, you're dealt a specific hand, and it's what you do with it that determines whether you win or lose. You can bluff, you can attempt to deduce another's hand by card counting, you can manipulate the other players by giving false tells. It's a game of skill, intuition, and experience. A fundamental part of enjoying any game is knowing what the rules are and what they are not. I strive to accurately assess my opponent's agenda, and I will bend, turn, mold, or adapt it to work for me, whilst never compromising the integrity of the game. And you can tell a lot about the way someone lives their life by watching how they play. Their commitment and their relationship to their own ability and self-confidence is reflected in the way they throw the dice. They hold their cards, move their avatar around the board, and most of all, their behavior when they win or lose. Now, I am acutely aware that I'm walking a thin line here. You may think I'm making light of the alarming events going on in our world right now. But in terms of the big picture, they are frivolous because it is just a game. But we're pretending this game is real, so we must play full out. It has to be taken seriously. We have to do all the things we're doing, protesting about 9/11, the war in Iraq, the raping and pillaging of other nations' natural resources, and so on. It is serious, but your other job is to take the most empowering perspective on any event. You are empowered to affect the game as an equal. The moment you forget, you become victim to the other player's tactics. And we have to ask ourselves why we're being bombarded by messages that induce fear. Fear in terms of frequency is a very slow vibration, and, as such, it allows for easier manipulation. While you're in a state of fear, you're more pliable, malleable, and suggestible. On the other side of the coin, we have anger, another very low-frequency state. Keep in mind that although anger is a fear killer, it still operates in the same low frequency. That's why they seem to be able to create more effectively than you can, because we're all hopping back and forth between fear and anger, scaring each other with talk about what they are doing, and then getting angry about it, never raising vibration long enough to create anything we really desire, or anything that can turn the game to our advantage. While you're listening to the shock jocks, who are also playing their part in the game, try tuning into how you're feeling. If you're feeling fearful or angry or both, then they've got you right where they want you. Now, without naming names, there are certain truth jocks out there that make me want to go out and do some serious harm. I'll listen just long enough to get a sense of what's going on behind the curtain, and I'll let them play their part. Their part being to inform me of what the other players in the game are doing. But as soon as their emotional energy begins to affect mine and bring down my vibration, I leave. The truth jock's role in this game is to disillusion you. To show you that you're living under an illusion, and to wake you up from it, to remove your rose-colored spectacles. To do that, he needs to scare you out of your apathy, using fear and anger as a motivator. It serves its purpose well, and those particular players have committed to vibrating at that low frequency for your benefit. But once you wake up, your job is to raise your vibration and start creating. If you choose to remain with the truth jocks in the low frequencies of fear and anger for longer than is necessary, you just won't be having as much fun up in the higher frequencies creating for yourself in the game. Listen to them, get the headlines, then get out and raise your frequency again. Now here's another secret for you. The elite love to be hated, and we love to hate them. Hate is fueled by both fear and anger, and the only ones who benefit from your hate, and therefore your self-imprisonment in the lower frequency, is your opponent. The ones playing the part of the elite in this game may have forgotten it's a game themselves, but like the best method actors, they're playing full out, and they're committed to their performances for the sake of keeping the game interesting and exciting. They may be trying to kill us, but try this concept on for size. You cannot die, you are eternal. Think of it as a game of paintball. You may get splattered, but it just means you'll have to sit the rest of this game out and wait for the next one. Now, if you can't wrap your mind around the concept that you are an eternal being, then answer me this. If this is the only life you have, if this is all there is, do you really want to spend it being angry, fearful, and miserable all the time? then why not try using your imagination? Remember what that is? The thing your parents, your teachers, your partners continually try to stop or stifle or change when they accuse you of daydreaming or wasting your life in fantasies or simply hoping for something better. It's your imagination. Reclaim it. Imagine how powerful you are long enough, steadily enough, with clarity of purpose and singleness of intent, and watch your life change. The road to empowerment doesn't mean controlling others, but rather choosing the thoughts that best affect how your own life unfolds. It's that simple. The road to empowerment is the most individual journey of a human life. You set the timetable for development. You choose the way you approach the challenges. You maintain your connection to the greater part of yourself. You do all this. Be constant. Be vigilant. Be committed to the course you set for yourself. If you need to gain clarity, then factor out everyone else's static. Factor out the peanut gallery and concentrate on what you desire to make of your life. Humans have a hunger to create more and better and different experiences all the time. It's the entire point of being alive. The difficulty comes because people are terrified to do it alone. The biggest fear most people ever have might be the realization that they are alone. We all die alone. We all suffer pain alone. No one can do either for us. Neither can anyone know exactly what you see with your eyes, or hear with your ears, or dream when you sleep, no matter how we strive to communicate those things through poetry, painting, music, or blogs. No one knows exactly what you feel and how you feel it, but you. To forestall embracing this state of aloneness, we join a church, or a political party, or an online forum, continually checking in on other people's opinions of us and measuring our power according to who wins the online flame war. We form wars against drugs, or porn, or Republicans, or the Tory party. We protest, we petition, we march, we do 10,000 things with 10,000 others, but rarely pause to give a moment's credit to the power of the individual. So why is that? Why do we feel so powerless alone? Why do we let our fear hold us down when history has repeatedly shown us that it's the individual, the lone voice in the wilderness who lets a pebble fall from his hand and starts the avalanche of change? You are alone. You are alone because you are a part of the whole, having a subjective experience called life that is completely unique to you. You're alone because despite the begging, pleading, lying, seducing, dominating, or manipulating you might do, you can never really change another sovereign soul. You are alone because in this reality, the only life you can really have a lasting effect on is your own. And you know what? That is powerful enough by far. You see, I now feel like I'm floating downstream, which is a hell of a lot easier than impersonating a salmon, and that's what I feel like I've been doing up to this point. Some burden has been lifted from my shoulders, and I know I've shifted my focus from a reality that manifests limitations to one that manifests freedoms. Change your thought about your powerlessness as just one person. It's only a belief, and a belief is just a thought we continue to think in a habitual manner. You have the power to change the belief, and if you think you don't, then you've already lost the game. You have a connection to the larger part of yourself that no one else can ever touch or violate or take away. It's there. Feel it. Believe in yourself and you will become powerful in your own right. With every breath we draw, we're either constantly being born or repeatedly resisting change. Which one are you going to choose? The human we're hardest on in all the world, without exception, is ourselves. So give yourself permission to smile from time to time. Lighten up. Be easy. Float downstream. Try and have some fun. And if you take anything at all from this video, let it be this. I'm in it for the adventure. So I'll still be reporting, as usual, but at least now you know which perspective I'm looking at it from. And no, the irony of a man in a black ski mask and sunglasses speaking on matters of spirituality hasn't escaped me. Thanks for listening.
It's just a ride. The eyes of fear want you to put bigger locks on your door, buy guns, close yourself off. The eyes of love instead see all of us as one.